Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I want to share with you some tips and tricks and hacks and really important stuff that you definitely need to know the next time you go on a cruise. Whether you are about to embark on your very first cruise or you have been cruising for a long time, there are some things on this list that will definitely be helpful in your travels. So on our last cruise, I kept a list on my phone. Every time something came to my attention that somebody didn't know about, screwed up, was misinformed, whatever the case may be. We traveled with about 70 people. So I have a lot of stuff going on this list because everybody had some type of an experience where they wish they had known in advance that this was gonna happen, and I'm here to tell you how you can avoid it. So there is no rhyme or reason to this list. It's just as things happened, I typed it in on here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and read down the list and tell you what our experience was with that. So, one fun tip, there is a little thing that you can stick on the back of your phone that will hold your card when you get on a cruise ship. Everybody has like a room, it looks like a credit card, but it's also your card to everything. It gets you into your room, it pays for your stuff, it's what you need to get on and off the ship, and you can either wear it on a lanyard, which you can actually get them for free over in the casino. Usually you can ask for one. If you are an adult and you're old enough to gamble, you're also able to get one of those lanyards to keep your key card on. Having the little thing that sticks on the back of your phone is definitely really helpful because your phone is something that you always have with you. So I found that to be a game changer on the cruise because I kind of got tired of wearing it around my neck. Something else that you should know: when you go to dinner the first night, there will be bottles of wine out on the table, and some people in our party assumed that they were free. If you open up a bottle of wine that is put out on your table, this is a Carnival Cruise line. I should have started off telling you guys, Carnival. This was a Carnival cruise ship, so you know there may be other cruise lines that do give you complimentary wine on your table, but Carnival does not. So if you're on a Carnival cruise ship and you see these bottles of wine on your table in the dining room, it doesn't mean that they're free for you to open. If you open it, you pay for it. So we were on the Carnival Pride in August, and a lot of other cruise ships, aside from Carnival, like Royal Caribbean, they have an app for your phone where you can communicate with everyone in your party. Cell service out at sea is poor, and even if you pay for the internet package, you most likely are not going to have internet connection. So that's another tip. Don't think that just because you pay for it, it's actually going to happen. You're in the middle of the ocean, there is likely going to be no connection. So it is great to have the app because everybody that you're traveling with can communicate with you. This was really important for me, being that I had 3 children on the ship and 2 of them are teenagers, and they kind of went and did their own thing. I was always able to message them and see where they were, what they were up to, and they could message me if they needed me at any time as well. So it was $5 a person, and you get on this app, you have it for the whole week, and everybody can communicate. And again, if you're traveling with a large party like I was too, everybody who is on that app, you can search for them and include them on your friend list so that you can communicate with anyone who has the app. So definitely really helpful to know. Something else that we experienced were some people tried to bring wine on the ship in their suitcase. Not the suitcase that they were carrying on, the suitcase that they were actually having Carnival bring to the room. But most definitely, you're going to have to carry that on with you. So don't lose your wine. Make sure that you have it in your carry-on bag, and then you can get right on the ship with it. Also, if you do decide to bring wine to dinner with you, make sure you uncork it yourself because they will charge you a fee just to take the cork out for you, which is ridiculous. So make sure that you bring the bottle of wine open, or you bring a corkscrew with you on the ship so that you can open it yourself and not have to pay for someone to do it for you. That's just ridiculous. Something else that you are not allowed to bring on the ship are steamers or irons. So I did not think a steamer was going to be a big deal. It just blows steam out. I had a straightening iron, which I would think if anything would have been taken, it would have been the straightening iron, but they took my brand new steamer. And they do have a laundry service, and they also do have a laundry room. So you can take your stuff down to the laundry room and iron stuff yourself, but it could be busy in that area, especially on Captain's Night. So you're going to want to do it ahead of time. If Captain's Night is on a Tuesday, make sure you get it done like on Monday. Don't wait till Tuesday to do it, because in all likelihood, there's going to be a line of people waiting to iron their clothes that have been stuffed in their suitcase for the last couple of days. And this is also a super fun tip, something that you might want to do either before or after your cruise. One of my wonderful subscribers sent this to me, and it's a scratch-off map. So if you are really into traveling and exploring the world and going on cruises, you can get this map for your family. It's really lots of fun. I'll show you what it looks like. So it's this nice big map, and it is a scratch-off. So you can locate all of the destinations that you have been to, and you scratch off that area. So you can see I've already scratched off Florida here. And I also scratched off the Bahamas right here. That little orange speck is the Bahamas. And I can go ahead and scratch off Mexico. We weren't in Mexico on this particular cruise, but we were there before on another cruise. And I'll go ahead and scratch that off. So I just think it's a super creative way of keeping track of all of your travels. Just, you know, use some double-sided tape, or you can actually frame this and hang it up on your wall and just scratch off every time that you go someplace fun with your family. And of course, I will leave a link for this in the description below in case it's something that you choose to do on your next travels. Another situation that we encountered was if you do not have a passport, everybody needs to have a copy of their birth certificate and a driver's license if you are a driver. And if you are 16 and you're not driving age here in New Jersey, you do not get your license until you're 17. My daughter is 16, she doesn't have her license. Well, she had to have student ID. So it wasn't enough at the age of 16 to just go on the ship with your birth certificate. You also had to have student ID if you did not yet have your license. So if you're a big photo person like I am, I love to get pictures on the cruise ships of my family together. They come out amazing. Every time we go on a cruise, we get the best family photographs. They do such an amazing job. So this year I decided to get the Pixel package. And if you go on the website, you can see the up-to-date packages that they have. It's usually a way better deal. If you purchase a package in advance, any type of photo package prior to boarding the ship, you're usually going to save at least 20%. So I did that this year, and it was a wonderful thing to do. I got some really great photographs, but what I highly recommend doing is the day that you board the ship, make sure you go over to the photography area where they have all of the pictures, and it's in Carnival, it's called Pixels. So you go over there and you let them know that you purchased the package. They look you up and they start a file for you. You want to do that on day one so that you don't miss out on any of your photos. And once you are signed in with them and they create a file for you, what you can do is every single day you go and you check out all of the pictures that they took the night before, and the ones that you think you might want to buy, you put in your file. So you don't actually have to purchase anything till the end of the week. So that's really a great way to do it. You can have all of your pictures that you like the most in one file, and at the end of the week you can go ahead and pick your favorites. Okay, so this is good to know for you families who have to deal with allergies like we need to. We have 2 children that have peanut and tree nut allergies, and what we needed to do was we had to order all of our meals the night before. So every night when we sat down to dinner, we would take a look at the following night's dinner menu, which was nice for us because we always got to know what, you know, we had to look forward to the next day. But also the great thing about that was we could make sure in advance that whatever it was that our children picked out for dinner the following night, they were going to prepare it in a different area. They were going to be super safe about it. They were going to make sure that there were no nut products in it, rather than ordering at the time and it being kind of a rush job, because there is a lot going on at dinner time. If you've ever been on a cruise ship, you know the dining room is just packed with people and they need to get the food out rather quickly because there's usually a couple of different seatings, so they need to work within that turnaround time. So So doing it the night before is really a much safer and better way of doing it. And they also did that for if you were going to do like a sit-down breakfast the following day, you could even let them know what you planned on having for breakfast. If you like to gamble, it is worthwhile knowing that it may be worth it to you to make sure you bring enough cash, because if you use the ATM machine, they're going to typically hit you with about a 3% interest fee on that. So you definitely want to make sure you bring plenty of cash to gamble with, just so you can avoid the cost of using the ATM. So on this trip, we bought the drink package, and the drink package allows you to have up to 15 alcoholic beverages a day. So I'm never going to come anywhere near that. But for me, it was worth it because you also could have as many non-alcoholic beverages as you would like without any limit to it. So I was able to have like a virgin pina colada, a virgin strawberry daiquiri. Those drinks are almost as expensive as the alcoholic beverages. And you're not supposed to do this, but you could also maybe get your child a soda or a smoothie of sorts. Another great way to take advantage of the drink package is if you like flavored coffees. They have a coffee bar there, kind of like a Starbucks type of a place, and you could get drinks there as well. So that definitely makes it worthwhile, dollar for dollar. You're kind of getting your money's worth if you also take advantage of those other options. And if you're trying to buy expensive drinks because you don't drink very many drinks and you still want to make sure that you're offsetting what you actually paid for the drink package, you can go to the Alchemy Bar because their drinks are pretty high priced and they're very good drinks. So definitely you will get like your most bang for your buck over at the Alchemy Bar. And another tip about the drink package is when you order a drink, you actually can order two, but only one can be an alcoholic beverage. So you can have one like cocktail and one maybe like a water. And a cocktail is also included if you were to get like a virgin pina colada. So if I were going to order a virgin pina colada, I could get a water with that, but I couldn't get, say, a beer. So it's kind of tricky in that aspect. You have to figure out exactly what you're going to order before you order it, especially if you are treating somebody else to a drink. You just keep in mind you can only get one alcoholic beverage or cocktail at a time, but in addition to that, you would be able to get like a soda or a water or something like that. Something else worth knowing, don't leave your food unattended for even a second. If you are over in the pool area or in the cafeteria, over in the Mermaid Lounge, if you're familiar with the Carnival Pride, we had a lot of our lunches over in the Mermaid Lounge. If you walk away from your table, they will clean it up. Doesn't matter how much food you have on the table. And I saw some guests getting really angry about this. I saw a gentleman, get all this food and he put it on the table and he got up to go get himself a cup of coffee. And when he came back, everything had been cleared off and he kind of went off about it. But they're just doing their job. They're trying to keep enough table space for all of the other people who want to sit down and eat. So if you leave your food unattended for even a second, it's going to be gone. Now, I talked to you guys about how wonderful the photographs are on the cruise ships. They do a phenomenal job. But be careful, because this actually happened to some of our family members where it was captain's night and everyone was dressed up and getting pictures done. And one of the photographers came over to this particular family and said, hey, do you want to do a free photo shoot? I'll take you out. They went out on the balcony and they took pictures of their family and they were so excited. They're like, I can't believe you're just doing this for our family for free. Like, this is so kind of you. So they took pictures of them on the staircase and on the balcony. Then they brought them into a private studio and took pictures of them there. And they were really excited, thinking, oh, I'm gonna have all these amazing pictures of my family. This is just so great. Carnival photographers are just the best ever. So they had this particular family schedule an appointment to look at all the pictures that they took. And basically what it came down to was their minimum package that they were allowed to buy were 5 photographs for $150. And the photo album that they put together for them, which was absolutely beautiful, and I'm sure they wanted it more than anything, was $1,400. So they kind of felt a little bit scammed, and they ended up not purchasing anything because it was spend $150 or get nothing. And they weren't in a position to spend $150 on photographs. So that was really disappointing that that happened to them. So make sure that doesn't happen to you. Just beware. This is something that I found very important. So the stateroom that we were in only fit 4 people, and I am a family of 5. So my son shared a room with his grandparents and his cousin, which was perfectly fine. He really enjoyed his time with his cousin, but you need to link the rooms together to be able to get on and off the ship with your child. And we learned this the hard way. I mean, you know, they had his birth certificate information, they had his name on file, they had our family name on file. Like, I felt like they knew he was my son, but if you do not link those rooms together, it does not even matter. So as we were actually getting off the ship to go to one of the ports, they wouldn't let us leave the ship together as a family. I had to go to guest services and I had to make sure that those 2 rooms were linked together. So if anyone's going to be taking a child on or off the ship and it's a child that is not linked to your stateroom, you're not going to be able to do that. So definitely keep that in mind. If you're traveling with a large group of people, make sure that if you're going to be responsible for anyone else's children or your own, that you need to make sure that those rooms are linked together. This might be more Carnival specific, but if you're going to be doing the Build-A-Bear workshop, it's first come, first serve. So they'll have a certain time, and that's the time that the workshop begins. But about an hour or 45 minutes at least prior to that time, people are going to start lining up, and then they're going to take your names and they'll call you one at a time. So if you are showing up at the time that the actual Build-A-Bear program starts, you're going to be way at the end of that line, and you're going to be waiting a long time to make your Build-A-Bear. So I just thought that was something that might be helpful to some of you traveling with young children. Another tip is a lot of these islands that the cruise ships stop at have very rocky beaches. It's kind of a lot of like drops and things. It's just not even and level. It's not like the beaches that I'm used to at the Jersey Shore, where it's just a gradual decline into the ocean. You're kind of up and down and all around, and there's you know, areas where it just kind of drops. So you have to be super careful, and you have to protect your feet. So definitely, if you have water shoes, especially if you're traveling with children, I would highly recommend bringing water shoes with you to protect your feet on these islands that can be very rocky and uncomfortable. Couple of items are going to be very relevant to a couple of things that we did on our Carnival Pride Cruise, and that is when you stop at Margaritaville, keep in mind that they have lockers right at the pool. So you can bring stuff and not have to worry about where you're going to leave it, because you can actually put your stuff right in the locker at Margaritaville. So that is something really cool to know. And when you travel to Half Moon Cay, which is Carnival's private island, you will have a free lunch provided by Carnival, and they barbecue and they have out desserts, and it's really delicious. But I recommend bringing some type of a reusable mug with you, because they just have like these little tiny cups, and you're gonna go up there 6 times, you know, to refill it while you're sitting down and having your lunch, because they're just teeny tiny. So if you can bring a refillable mug, that's a great idea. Another tip for any cruise is to go ahead and get your luggage tags early, the day before you leave. So when you are going to be getting off the ship, they're going to call you by your luggage tag numbers, and they will be available to you the day before. And if you wait too long to get your luggage tags, that means you're going to wait that much longer to be called off the ship with all your luggage. And for me, that's the worst part of the cruise. I really think the next time we cruise, I'm going to try really hard to do carry-on only and not even have to wait for that, because we waited on the ship probably for over 2 hours, and at that point you just want to go. They keep you in a holding room, and they're not serving food or drinks anymore, and there is no entertainment going on, and everybody's just sitting there miserable knowing that we're all going home. So also make sure that you settle your balance before you leave the ship, because they will not let you off the ship if you haven't paid for all of your expenses. That also happened to somebody that we traveled with. We waited over 2 hours to get off the ship. We finally were getting off. We're like, yes, we're getting off of the ship. And as we're walking off the ship, we were stopped because somebody didn't pay their balance, and it was somebody that we were traveling with, so we all had to wait like another, whatever it was, 20 minutes for them to go to guest services and pay. It was so frustrating, so please make sure that you pay your balance before you get off the ship. It's definitely worth paying additional to park your car right where you board and where you get off of the ship. So if you do something like what I did, which is we usually stay at a hotel the night before and we leave our car at the hotel, and then we rely on the hotel shuttle transportation to get us to and from the port. Well, that can be very unreliable sometimes, and in our experience, it was, because after waiting 2 hours to get off the ship and 20 minutes for somebody to pay their balance, we had to wait for, I think, at least 3 vans came along from our hotel and back to the port before they actually took our family, and that was about another hour. So it was just so frustrating getting off of the ship and then waiting to get to the hotel, to get to our car, to finally do the 8-hour drive home or whatever it was. So I really recommend just parking right there if you can manage it. Definitely worth it, and will also be a time saver. So I think that is everything that I have to share with you guys today. I am really excited to share all of this information with you. If you're new to my channel, I work for a company called Mickey World Travel, and I plan Disney vacations as well as cruises. So I would be happy to help you out with any questions that you may have. If you are going on a cruise anytime soon, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be really happy to help you out. If you need help planning a cruise, I'd be really happy to help you out with that. I really hope that you found a lot of these tips and tricks and hacks super helpful. I also shared with you guys how I organize our cabin, so there's lots of fun stuff over there. Definitely worth checking out. Sometimes the cabin rooms can be small and tight, and keeping it organized is super helpful and really has been for my family. So if you like these kind of videos, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow me over at Jen's Happy Home on Instagram. I'm always sharing fun stuff over there as well. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I hope that you guys are all having a great week. Take care. Bye.